Good morning, everybody. This is Andrew David. This is the My Ecom Club Freedom Call. It is Monday. We're in the beginning of February. It's February 4th, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And we're here rocking and rolling. As you come on live, please take a second and say hello. Let me know that you're there. I am live on Facebook, also live on the My Ecom Club YouTube channel. So I will be kind of looking back and forth as we go through the call. I think I need to set up things a little bit differently. So I got the camera right here to be able to do this better next time. So good morning, everybody. Tina, Carol, hello. Darian Davis, Esther from Arizona. Welcome, everybody. As you guys come on, please make sure that you say hello. These Freedom Calls take place Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can also catch the replay right here on this page. I will be updating your back office as well. So if you log in, there's a link there that you can click on to get to the recorded Freedom Calls. There's a lot of, in my opinion, there's a lot of great value, a lot of great training there if you go back and you go through the training, you look through everything and you say hello. So on that note, guys, I want to get in, hit on a couple of quick things. Hope everyone had a great weekend. I don't know how many of you guys watched the Super Bowl. I always feel, especially the last few years as we've looked at, and I'm not getting into which team you like or the other, kind of wondering about your thoughts on the Super Bowl. The fact that the Patriots did win, they did win again. I always think it's interesting, the hate, the vitriol. Kimberly on YouTube, hello to you. The frustration that people have with the Patriots, and it's simply for the fact that they keep winning. I think it's interesting. Jessica sitting in the hospital bed watching. I hope you're all right. Prayers go out to you. Anyway, we can talk about winning and success another time and people's reaction there. I wanted to talk today. I hope you guys have taken over the course of the last couple of months. I've talked a lot about self-awareness and self-evaluation. I've talked about you being super aware and super clear about where you're at. One of the things that I've learned working not just with myself, but working with my mentors and working as a mentor for now many, many people over the course of the last few years, working with small businesses, large businesses, highly successful people that really get it. There is typically a level of self-awareness that is above and beyond what many people have and what many people are willing to have. True self-awareness goes beyond just knowing you're good at something or that you're not good at something. It goes deeper than that. And I'm sure many of you guys could probably point to a manager at work or someone that has a little bit of success, little bit, and you say, man, they seem clueless. They just don't seem to get how maybe they're arrogant, maybe they're a bit puffed up, maybe they seem, like their social skills aren't where they need to be. So sometimes that success doesn't always come with self-awareness. However, in a great many instances, in a large number of the people that achieve success, there is a level of self-awareness that is essential. Okay. And yes, good morning to all of you guys. Jessica, again, from the hospital bed. Hope you're doing well. Evie's, Robin, glad that you're on. Diana, Eileen, Mitchell, all you guys are watching with me. So we're going to talk a little bit today about something that I've noticed personally that I struggle with as I've looked at where I'm at with my self-awareness and what I'm trying to do and trying to break through into that next level, right? Many of you guys are at this stage where you are, right now you're in the middle of your growth cycle, right? How many of you guys feel like you are right smack dab in the middle of, I'm trying to do work, I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to get better, and it is a struggle, and you seem to be getting a little bit better, but it just feels like you're staying in the middle of that growth cycle. Okay, Brenda, here's the thing. So Brenda's asking, how has this helped your business? All right. If you feel like working on yourself and you feel like working on your brain and you feel like working on success principles, if you feel like this is a waste of time, I'm going to tell you right now, and Brenda, you were the one that asked, so I hope you don't take this personally. But if you feel like working on yourself isn't going to help you in your business, then you will never succeed in your business. That's the reality. If you feel like working on yourself and working on success habits and working on high performance habits and becoming self-aware and understanding your goals and working on your goals, if you feel like it doesn't have any meaning for you, if that's the feeling that you've got, then odds are you're never going to be successful. There is, and we've talked about this before, guys, and this is why we talk about this, because every single one of you can achieve success. Every single person can, even though working for yourself, being an entrepreneur, building a business from home isn't for everybody, okay? I will say that right now. It isn't for everybody. And I will say this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, and I will say it will require work, and I'm not going to sit here and blow hot air up your skirt and say every single person can do this. And I'm not going to point to, and just because I see Christian's name right there, I'm not going to point and say, Christian, you can absolutely do it, because I don't know. Because I don't know the work that you're putting in. I don't know how much work you're putting in on yourself as you put in work on your business. Because the two go hand in hand, right? Absolutely, Christian, like you say, it starts with yourself first. If you don't put in the work on you, you're never going to get there, right? So I've talked about this before, guys, and this is a principle that once you truly, truly get it, it makes more and more sense, right? I talked about this last week on one of the days, I believe, but you have the employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor, right? Employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. This is the cash flow quadrant. This comes from Robert Kiyosaki from one of his books, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It is an amazing book. If you haven't read it yet, go do it. It's one of the fundamentals when you're building a business for yourself and working on you. Understand these principles. Let me show this for YouTube. So the employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. So the employee says all the time, I don't need to work on me. You've got your business. You pay me to show up, right? You pay me to be here. You pay me to get my job done. That's all I care about. Give me my money. That's the employee mentality. The self-employed says, I'm going to show up because I'm going to get my money. I'm going to get it done. It's up to me. No one can do it as well as I can. I don't want someone else bossing me around, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to do it. Self-employed, even though they have a little more freedom than an employee, ultimately you own a job. That's what being self-employed is. You own a job. And listen, my dad was self-employed for decades as a locksmith. My mom went from being a nurse, from being an employee, to owning a small care home, a small care facility, becoming self-employed. She was a slave, and she may as well been in chains with that care home because she was there 24 hours a day for a significant amount of time. She lived on premises, which means she never left. Occasionally we would get to see her a few hours out of the week. That was what she did. I owned a cleaning and restoration business. I was self-employed. If the work didn't get done, I didn't get paid. I wasn't working on me. I was working always on my business and in my business. Now, people that achieve a high level of success, people that achieve a certain amount of revenue, Annie, hello on YouTube, as you guys achieve that, right? This process, this growth process, you have to work on yourself. There's something I say all the time, is learning how to balance out education and execution. Okay? Education and execution. So we all have this learning curve that we go through, and we all start out right here. We all start out on the level of education, right? Well, here, our education goes down there, and this is our success curve, right? And success is going to be defined by you guys. I'm not going to define your success. I'm not going to define your freedom. If you go back, you listen to some of our calls, I've talked a lot about all of this stuff, right? So, yeah, Crystal, like you're saying, totally hand in hand. George, discipline, absolutely. So you have your education, your amount of education here. You have your success level here, right? So the amount of education that you apply, right? Education that you balance out with execution. Education doesn't mean anything unless you execute on it. Bettering yourself doesn't mean anything unless you execute on it. Me sitting and talking to you about, writing in a journal and doing a brain dump and writing out your plans and being productive, none of that means anything unless I'm executing on it, right? Unless I'm sitting and writing in my own, journal, and I'm doing my goals and I'm writing everything out, right? If I'm telling you guys to do something and I don't do it, then it doesn't matter. If you think that just hearing this is going to change your life without applying some of the things that I talked about, ultimately you're going to struggle with it. You have to go through that whole process, and that's a process that everybody goes through. And a lot of you, like I had asked about earlier, a lot of you are in the middle of this growth curve, and you're getting to the point where you're ready to break through, and you come up with what, you know, and I'm not trying to pick on you here. Who was it? What was her name? I'm sorry. Pass through there. Okay. Brenda, you're saying, I just want to concentrate on this, right? But Judith, it's not just Facebook making changes, because there are certain fundamentals to Facebook marketing that will always hold true. The stuff about the empathy map, the stuff about targeting your audience, the stuff about learning how your audience reacts to things, those things will always hold true. Yeah, Facebook is going to change, big deal, but connecting with an audience isn't going to change. Connecting with your target audience isn't going to change. Understanding the way that people react to a pain point, those things aren't going to change. Your level of dedication and focus and how you focus on your business and how you work on you, that stuff's not going to change. See, the frustrations come out based on the blueprint that you created through your life, how you feel about success, how you feel about work, what you feel you're entitled to, what you feel you deserve, right? The level of worry and concern that you bring to all of these things in life. And Judith, I don't mean you specifically, right? I mean all of us, because we all do it. We all have this tendency to worry. Worry is, in many, many ways, an addictive behavior. Because worry is allowing me to just fuss and complain, and that, you know, allows me to play that victim card. And we all do it. 99% of us do, right? And the great thing about being a worrier, the great thing about complaining, the great thing about fussing is it becomes self-fulfilling. At some point, I'm going to be right. At some point, if I complain enough and I complain about, you know, the stock market and prices and stuff, at some point, prices are going to go up, and my complaining was warranted. At some point, the market's going to take a big dip, and I'm going to be able to say, see, I told you so. If I complain about politicians in general, well, then even if there's a great politician in a certain position, there's going to be lousy ones in others, and I'm going to have an opportunity to complain about them. There's going to be corruption at some point. There is going to be, unfortunately, violence and destruction somewhere on this earth. And so if I want to constantly worry and I want to constantly complain, it will become fulfilled at some point. And I can say, see, my frustration was warranted. It's okay that I was worried, because I told you that would happen. How many of you guys know someone like that? How many of you guys know somebody that always complains and that always worries, and they spend their life in this situation of, oh my gosh, what the heck is going to happen? And then when something does happen, they go, see, I told you I was right. And I know some of you guys are on here, and look, you've been on here, you're here every day that we do the Freedom Calls, and hopefully you're getting some value from them. But you've got to treat it like Eileen's saying, you've got to decide that no matter what, I'm not giving up. That success is going to come to me. And I promise you guys, you will have people in your life and in your business, you have people around you that say, you know what, you're going to fail. It's not going to work. You're going to have issues, right? You are going to have that. And you'll run a campaign, and if you happen to talk to that person and go, yeah, last couple of products I tried didn't work, they'll go, oh, see, I told you, you're going to fail. That's it. It's over. You might as well give up, right? It's not meant for us to work. The system's rigged. Did you guys know that the government's having issues, which like everything's going to change and your business isn't going to work anymore? Oh my gosh. Do you realize they're changing taxes and this is going to happen and that's going to happen and you're going to fail on it? Oh, you better quit now. Hey guys, would you like, really, I'm asking you guys, and this isn't rhetorical, would you like me to spend the next 10 minutes telling you about all of the problems and all of the difficulties that you'll have with e-commerce or with building a business for yourself? Would you like me to spend the time giving you, feeding your worries, or would you like me to tell you how to actually deal with those worries when they come up? I'm going to let you guys decide, right? How many of you guys are actually paying attention? Would you like me to spend the time telling you all of the problems that you can have with running your own business? Because we could probably spend an hour and a half doing it, or I can tell you a couple of different ways that you can recognize and you can work on those worries when they arrive in your personal life. because odds are they're going to come up. Which one would you guys prefer? Aricelis is saying she'd like the positive. Christian's saying sure. Eileen. Here's the thing I want you guys to understand. It will happen. Even if you're saying you're dedicated, Eileen, you know, what you wrote up there about being focused and being in on it, awesome. I promise you, though, that concerns will still come up from time to time. It will happen. That's natural. That's part of life. Okay? Now, the people that succeed, though, the ones that reach the higher level, good. Robin's saying, I don't listen to the haters. There's enough negativity. Absolutely. So here's what you guys need to do. When stuff starts to come up, this is why self-awareness is so important. And you go back, and in December, I talked a lot about it. January, I talked about it. Hopefully, you guys have done some self-awareness checks, right? I did the human balance sheet, and I posted that in the group this last week. So hopefully, you guys sat down and you went through the characteristics and everything. Look at where you are so that you can be aware, right? So first thing I need you to do is do that. Work on your self-awareness, the very first thing. The next thing that you need to do is when worry starts to come up, whether that be anxiety, worry, overwhelm, whatever, those things are going to come up. You've got to be able to recognize them, right? You have to be able to notice it. When it starts to pop into your life, when you start to feel that stuff, you have to be able to notice it. And you won't unless you're self-aware. If you spend the majority of your time in a worry kind of scenario, if you're always frustrated, then you're not going to recognize that unless you know beforehand. And then you're going to recognize it a lot every single day. Why am I worried about this? Why am I worried about that? And first thing you need to do is recognize it. And then the next thing you need to do is stop and evaluate and say, is this something that's happening right now? Is this something that I can solve right now? Do I have enough control over the situation I am worried about to solve it? Many of you guys worry about things like the economy. You worry about things like politics on a grand level, world stage, you know, health and hunger for communities, for, you know, extended family, for all of these things. You worry about those things so much. And we all have this, right? That's the whole reason that they have those cliches about Thanksgiving or about Christmas and spending time with family, because you're going to have that one crazy uncle or the one crazy aunt that always talks about politics, and they want to get into it, whether they're on the right-hand side of the aisle or the left-hand side, or they're in the middle and they want to argue about being a libertarian, whatever the heck it is, somebody's going to be frustrated unless you can control the outcome right now. Okay, so you recognize it, you evaluate it, and then you either deal with it or you let it go. That's step 3. So first thing you do is you notice it. Next thing you do is you evaluate and you say, is this something I can handle right now? Is this something I have control over? Can I change the course of the way things are right now? And if you can, you deal with it. You know, I'm frustrated about my relationship. I had an argument with, you know, my significant other. There's something going on with the kids. There's something at work. Communication, if that can happen right now, then do it. Okay? If it can't, then you need to let it go. You need to breathe through it. You need to talk to yourself about it. So you know what? Ultimately, I don't have any control over who's in the White House or who's in Congress or what bill is being passed. You know, I can vote, but once that's there, like, unless you're going to become a political activist, there's only so much you can do. So you need to stop and you need to say, okay, what do I need to do to adjust? You need to let go and you need to shift. Now, the next thing that you need to recognize, guys, okay? The next thing that you need to recognize, number 4, is you need to look at, oftentimes when worry becomes excessive, it's because something positive, if you're in the middle of working, right? Like all of you guys are in the middle of building your business. So if you're in the middle of actually building your business and this comes up, then it's because something positive is trying to push itself in. And so the worry flares up because we don't like change, right? We don't want effort. Our subconscious oftentimes doesn't. So you need to look at and say, what positive thing is coming about. And this is where, again, self-awareness plays into this, because you need to recognize how your body starts to respond to this, how your brain does. What are the physical changes, right? Is it butterflies? Is it anxiety? Is it stress? Is it happiness? Is it like, there's all sorts of different physical body feelings I know when I get anxious. And I talked about this last week, when I start to feel overwhelmed. So I need to step back. I need to look at it and say, is this something I can solve right now? I do my breathing, I do my journaling, and I stop and I assess, and I open up my focus once I pinpoint what's trying to break through. So if it's some type of success with your business, if it's something there, then you need to focus in on that, and you need to allow yourself to feel the positive side of what will happen when you get there. So first thing is you're self-aware, and you notice that the worry is there. Then you judge it. Is this something I can handle now? Or is this something out of my control? If it's out of your control, then it's out of your control. You have to let it go. You have to verbalize that. You have to breathe through it, whatever you need to do, but you got to let that go. You can't dwell on that. And if it is something you can handle, then you go after it. The next thing is what is trying to happen for your life? What is trying to come through? What feelings are trying to come through? Next is what bodily feelings are there. Then you focus on that. Right? And this comes through, guys, all of this stuff, if you pay attention, is it clear to you that this all rolls together? Your body, or your human balance sheet, right? Like Robin's saying, awesome, you got it right there in office. Does the balance sheet work out with your daily and monthly goals? Does it work out with this that I've talked about, with your spirit, mind, body, soul, and heart, with the things that you're doing each and every day? Can you see how this all plays together? The more self-aware you are, the easier it will be for you to level up. Now, when I say the easier it will be, I don't mean that this process is easy. This takes time, it takes work, it takes effort. But are your dreams worth it? Are the goals that you have set worth the success that you're looking for, worth the struggles that you have? Are your dreams, are your goals big enough that you're willing to go through the struggle and deal with the nonsense and the BS and the haters and this and that and the worry that you have? Are your dreams enough for you to get through the challenges that ultimately you will have? Because we will all have challenges. We will all have issues. All right, everybody does. This is why a mentor is important. This is why a support team is important. This is why, being on calls like this. This is why reading all of these things. This is why this is important. So if your goals are big enough to deal with and to walk away from the worry, then I want you to drop me a comment in here. If you're watching on YouTube, then drop a comment there. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're with me live, if you're on the replay, if your goals are big enough, then just drop in there the same way that Eugenia and Judith and Carla, that you guys have, just write, yes, it is. Yes, they are. If your dreams are big enough, that's what I want to know. Because damn it, my dreams are big enough. My dreams of, with my kids, with my life, helping with my mom, helping. Now I've got some bigger dreams of helping with certain charities that I'm starting to work with. My dreams of helping as many of you as possible reach some goals that we've set. And I've talked to you guys about that. My goal of getting 50 of you to that point this year. It's a very serious goal. And you know what? Yeah, there are times that I'm concerned. There are times that I'm worried. There are times that I feel overwhelmed, but I'm going to work through it because my dreams are big enough. They're big enough for me to go after it no matter what, and to find a way to rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenix. So it looks like Eugenia, Christian, absolutely, Crystal, Diana again, Carol, Carisha, Larry, Jimmy. If your dreams are big enough, then go after it. Deal with your worry, deal with your concern. Don't let the worry and concern of others drag you down. If it does, and find a way to step away. Find a way to step into your best self. Make sure that you're with us tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Brock and I are going to be right here. We're going to be doing some Q&A for you. So please make time to be here. Answer questions, get questions answered. This weekend in Fort Lauderdale, if you're coming up, I am going to be sending out an email with a quick little video from me and some details about the event. Excited to have you guys down. Excited to see some of you guys again, to meet some of you for the first time. We are ready to go. Love you guys, and we will see you soon. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.